Now, I think it's very fair to say that when we examine the Walt Disney Company, two of the most failed divisions over there are most certainly both Lucasfilm and Marvel Studios. And I always like to bring up that Lucasfilm is in a more delicate state than Marvel Studios because of the vicious cycle that it falls into with the announcement of projects and the cancellation of projects over and over again. But yet again, in 2023, we saw an ongoing trend of box office disasters related to Marvel Studios and expensive failures on the horizon for 2025 as well. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Bob Iger, who by the way keeps on lying to the customers and the shareholders to the point that it's becoming embarrassing, and quite frankly I'm surprised that he's not embarrassed himself at this point by continuously lying to the general public over and over again to be proven wrong. And we all know that he's all about quote-unquote quieting down the noise when it comes to Disney's agenda, then goes on to enhance the agenda. I mean, it's also a vicious cycle, the same thing that Kathleen Kennedy spews over at Lucasfilm. Now, what's interesting about this has a lot to do with Bob Iger's stance on things after the whole gender-swapped Wolverine drama happened behind the scenes of Deadpool 3 after those plans got cancelled. However, plans are continuing to gender swap Wolverine in X-Men 97 Season 2, not to be confused with the upcoming season on March 20th, but they are planning to actually expand that show to become a multi-season show, basically. Now, what's interesting about this has a lot to do with Bob Iger's stance on the whole concept of gender and race swapping and adding in different backgrounds to popular Marvel-related characters, such as Wolverine, for example. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, the thing about Bob Iger is that he is very extreme to the point where it's becoming very much a big deal at this point. However, with Bob Iger already beginning to head into damage control and lying to both shareholders and customers around the globe, one major development has to do with Iger's defense and stand against what he calls the loud minority of fans. This all comes in the wake of plans to actually gender swap Wolverine in X-Men 97 Season 2, as Bob Iger delivered the following. I believe it is my responsibility as CEO to remain very clear and direct with our customers about our direction with our latest Marvel projects for the years to come. I cannot stress this enough, but our push to cherry-picking popular characters from successful brands, such as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for example, and how we plan to provide them with different iterations through our usage of story elements such as the multiverse, is not driven by agenda. Reframing some of our popular characters with different backgrounds, race, or gender comes from a very good and genuine place for us to reach a more global audience and to allow different groups around the globe to relate more to the characters that so many grew up with over the decades. As we plan to do this with our future Marvel films and television programs, we ask everyone to remain fair and balanced on their viewpoints with our approach. Of course, you are always going to have a loud, biased, opinionated group that will make things seem much worse than they really are. Let me be clear that Disney doesn't and never will engage in any kind of a culture war, nor do we support anything like that. Our plans with Mr. Fiege to allow us to handpick specific popular characters to hold different backgrounds and design preferences catered to race and or gender comes from a place of creativity. This is our example of art over ideology, since we do not focus on agenda or anything like that with our projects related to Marvel Studios. I would also like to address that we will be announcing more updates about this development at Marvel Studios in the coming months that we believe will surprise and excite many loyal fans that have been with us over the years. I also feel it's important as CEO to also address that our move to alter the background of many popular characters is something that has been planned well over 5 years ago, for where Kevin Feige aims to perfect with the multiverse story elements in the Marvel Universe that provides us with endless opportunities. We aim and push to do this with both in live-action projects as well as animated, to rightfully respect and support our usage of DEI in our films and television programs to create a brighter future for the Walt Disney Company, as we aim to build more tales tailored to all of our divisions here at the Walt Disney Company. Now guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about Bob Iger real fast, is that The fact that he is saying that doing the whole concept of race and gender swapping and adding in different backgrounds to other characters is art over ideology is pure lunacy. It really is. He's out of his mind. It's actually the fact that he's got it backwards. What he's doing is, in fact, ideology over art. That's exactly what he's doing. So he's basically denying that that is an agenda in and of itself, and that what he is doing is coming from a good and genuine place, quote-unquote, is absolutely ridiculous. Now, this all, like I said before, comes in the wake of the battle to gender swap Wolverine, which, by the way, Disney failed to do so behind the scenes for Deadpool 3, after Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Rhett Paul, and Sean really pushed back against that. But plans are continuing behind the scenes as we speak to do this in the animated sense through the use of the multiverse in X-Men 97 Season 2 that's going to meddle with the multiverse once again. And again, this is not to be confused with a Lady Deathstrike or X-23. This is a complete new character that Disney is trying to push in X-Men 97 Season 2 that they wanted to introduce in live-action form originally in Deadpool 3 to kind of promote that new character before they do it in animated form in X-Men 97 Season 2. So again, this is ridiculous at this point. We already know what they're doing with Pirates of the Caribbean 6, if you even want to call it number 6. It's basically a soft reboot. It's going to have a brand new title, and they are basically going all out with their overall female agenda as well, to really make it mainly a female-led project. Now, moving onwards, he goes on to conclude, the loud, opinionated side of our customers, I feel, are blowing things out of proportion and don't really know quite what they are talking about, and should do their research on DEI and how important it really is for the film industry, including television as well. We hope to expand our motive with different brands just like this as well with our upcoming Star Wars and Disney related projects in general, and we couldn't be more excited about all of that. I can confidently say that we plan to do this in a rightful, balanced manner for the fans. Now, Bob Iger is totally extreme in this case because he's basically saying that what he said a couple of months ago about quieting down the noise was also a complete lie. I mean, he literally just admitted that what he said not too long ago was a complete fabrication. Now, again, in this sense, he's basically confirming that he supports race swapping, gender swapping, adding in different backgrounds to popular characters. We already know that they made Morph in X-Men 97 Season 1 non-binary, something that never existed by word and never existed at all in the 1990s. So why are they inserting this into X-Men 97? Well, we all know why. It's all a part of Disney's nonsense agenda that is totally funded by BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. So overall, guys, I would love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.